Good morning, students. So, in the last chapter, we had discussed about different database terminologies. Okay. So we had discussed about relation, that is table, and then domain means place from where pool of data is extracted, and then we had discussed about tuple. Tuple means single row of a relation, and then we had discussed about attribute. Attribute means single column of a relation. Then cardinality means number of rows present in the table excluding the header row. Okay, so keep in mind excluding the header row. And afterwards we had discussed about degree means number of columns present in the table. And then we had discussed about view is an imaginary table created by database itself in order to provide security to the database, so that whenever we are using select query, the data is always accessed from view table. It means our original table is not disturbed or it is not modified whenever select query is used, because data is always accessed from view table. So in order to provide security to the data, view table is given, and the view table is created by database itself. But options are there, you can commands are there, so you can also create view table by yourself, and the syntax for that, create view name. Okay, so you can apply those particular syntax in order to create view table by your own self. Then afterwards we had discussed about primary key. Primary key, basically it is the main key attribute, and it is always unique and not null, and in a particular database we can have more than one primary key, but that depends. Sorry. Then we have candidate key. Candidate key, it is unique in nature. It can act as primary key wherever it is required, but whenever candidate key is going to be used as primary key, it should be not null, because primary key is always not null. Then we have discussed about alternate key. Alternate key, basically you can say that it is non-attribute key, just like a candidate key, but it can never act as primary key. Okay, because it may not be unique. Just if we take an example, employee ID, we are having employee ID, then employee name, middle name, last name, address, and so on. Then employee ID is primary key, and whereas middle name, last name, address, and these are alternate keys, because these can never be considered as primary key. Okay, so this is for the alternate key. And then we had discussed about foreign key. Foreign key, basically it takes data from primary key. Okay, so concept says that it takes data from primary key. It means suppose if we take example, suppose we are having two tables, a master table and dependent table. Then master table is having primary key, and dependent table is having foreign key. Means one non-attribute key is there in the dependent table, and basically both the fields, means primary key and which one is another one which is present in dependent table, both should have same name, same data type. And now that particular field of dependent table, its accesses data from primary key of master table. So both of them are having same data. Okay, but uh, uh, the field of dependent table that is present outside of our primary key table, that's why it is known as foreign. Okay, so foreign keys are of utmost importance, and it is used for many purposes, like just for joins and to access the records and to combine the data. And the data of foreign key can be repeated, but data of primary key cannot be repeated. So all such things you have to keep in your mind, make it clear. Okay, afterwards we had discussed about referential integrity. Referential integrity, basically it means it is a concept which is used while creating the foreign key, and three rules are there for the referential integrity. First one, data cannot be inserted directly to the foreign key. It should be inserted to the primary key first of all. Second one, that primary key cannot be modified or updated, as there is interrelated data in the foreign key. And third one, primary key cannot be changed or deleted. So there are these three rules with the differential integrity, and if these three rules are not followed, then it violation of primary key constraint arises. Okay. So now today we will start with different command categories of MySQL. So we will discuss about the different how many command categories are there in the MySQL or in SQL, you can say that. Okay, so we'll discuss about those, and uh, so so we are having different command categories, and in those command categories, first of all we are having DDL. DDL means data definition language. Okay, so here as the name suggests, data definition language, basically we are using DDL command in order to define the table, in order to define the structure of table. So whenever it is required to create a structure of table, that is columns, whenever we are going to define the columns, we are going to use DDL command category. Okay, so DDL is used to define the structure of table. Make it clear. So DDL command, basically it is used to define the structure of table, and whenever we are saying structure of table, that is column, means it includes what data types we are going to use for the columns, what will be the structure of that particular column, and what will be the size of that particular column, and how we are going to define a table. For that we are having DDL command category, and in this command category we are having create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. Okay, once again I want to just tell you the names of the commands: create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. Okay, and desk command also. Basically these commands belongs to DDL category. Means these commands are used to define the structure of table. Clear? Now just you can see this. Second category is DML. DML is having select, update, insert, delete, merge, log table. Now DML command, data manipulation language. Basically it is used for manipulation or updation or modification of data or record. So whenever we are working with data or whenever we are working with records, we have to use DML command category. So manipulation of the data or record. Okay, for that either we are inserting the records, either we are deleting the records, or we are updating the records. For that we have to use DML command category. So you can see that in this particular chart, you can see that select command is there, update is there, insert is there, delete is there, merge is there, log table is there. These commands basically belongs to the DML category. And next category is DCL. Here you can see that DCL, data control language, and it is having two commands, grant and revoke. Okay, so DCL is having two commands, grant and revoke, and basically grant is used to provide the permission. Now a question arises, why we require DCL command? DCL command, basically it is used to provide the permission or to provide the privilege of data to some other user. Suppose if we are working in a network, or if we are working in a software company, or if we are working in any big organization where data need to be given from one user to another user, and for in such case we have to use DCL command category, that is data control language. And for that we are having two commands, grant and revoke. First one, grant. Grant, basically it is used to provide the privilege of data to the specified user. Okay, so whenever we are providing the grant command, we are providing the privilege of database, or we are providing the privilege of different objects, that is that may be a table, that may be a column, that may be a record, that may be, means different objects of the database to the specified user. And it depends on us up to what extent we want to provide the permission or privilege to the specified user. Either we can give select command so that he or she can only see, or we can provide insert or update or delete operation, whatever is there. So it depends upon us how much privilege we want to provide to the specified user. Second one, it allow assigning access rights to the user. Okay, so up to what extent the specified user can access the records. Second one is revoke. Revoke command, basically it is used to take back the permission from a assigned user. Okay, now here you can see that a DCL command that allows taking back the permission assigned to a user. So after giving the permission, whenever we think that now it is okay, now that particular user might have used that command or might have used that particular access, so we can take back the access. Okay, for that we have to use DCL command. So DCL command is used to take back the permission or access or privilege that we had given to the specified user. Okay, now in order to remove the access, we are using revoke command. So keep in mind, we are having two commands, grant and revoke, in order to give the permission or to take back permission from specified user. Okay, so whereas I think this concept might be clear to all of you, and the concept of grant and revoke. Now let us see the syntax of grant command. Grant command, basically here you can see that up to what extent we are providing grant to the specified user. Here you can see that you can see the syntax of grant command: grant, select, insert, update, delete. Okay, all the DML operations on world.start, that is our object. So grant, okay, then whatever permission on object name to specified username, to specified username identified by the particular keyword or the option. Okay, so this is the syntax for grant command, means up to what extent we are going to provide permission to the specified user. If we want to provide all the permissions, then we can write grant all on object name to username identified by the particular option or the keyword. So we can provide the particular syntax of the grant command as per required. Okay, so this is for the sorry, so this is for the grant command, up to what extent we can provide the permission or we can provide the privilege to the specified user. So keep this syntax in mind. And second syntax is for the revoke command, and we can see that here revoke command, basically it is used to take back the permission. Okay, so here revoke all on table name from username, means whatever permission, whatever privileges we might have provided, now we are taking back that particular privilege or the permission from the specified user, and for that we are using the revoke command. Okay, so revoke all on table name from specified username. Here you can see an example: revoke insert on EMP from user1. Okay, so we are taking back the permission from specified user. So we are having these two commands, that is grant and revoke, in order to provide the permission or in order to provide the privilege to the specified user. Okay, you can see sometimes select query is also known as data query language. Here you can say that, means select query is sometimes also known as data query language. Okay, so but most of the times in the books and in the various records you will see that select query is basically kept with the DML command, that is data manipulation language. Make it clear, select query most time is kept with that DML, that is data manipulation language. But basically you can also categorize the select query as a data query language. Make it clear. Okay, now we will proceed further with next command category, that is TCL. TCL means transaction control language. TCL means transaction control language. So for the TCL we are having different commands. So first of all, before going to commands of TCL, so let us first of all let us make it clear what is transaction. Basically, transaction is a logical unit of work, means it is either completed or never started. Just we can take an example. Whenever you are going to an ATM in order to withdraw the money, either the money will be withdrawn or it will just deny to give the money. It means it will never say that please wait for 1 hour or 2 hour or a day and next day you will get the money. It means there is no any middle phase. Either the money is given or the money is not given. Okay, so similarly the transaction is a logical unit of work. It is either completed or never started. Okay, so make it clear. And whenever we are using transaction or the TCL commands in SQL or in MySQL or in any database, it means we are taking all the access or all the commands from MySQL to honors, that is to the user, means the whole control is given to the user. Now the user will delete the data, user will save the data, so all the access, all the controls are now with the user only, and it depends upon the user what user is going to do with that particular database, okay, or with that particular table. Make it clear. So whenever we are using TCL, it means the control is with the user, means we are in the user view. One thing that I want to say, that I want to make it clear to all of you, that any database, that may be SQL or that may be MySQL or any database, basically databases, they are having the capability to save the records by themselves. While working in the database, you might have seen that whenever we are creating any query or whenever we are executing any query, the database save all the records or all the query whatever you might have executed by itself. Okay, now this capability of database is because of auto commit command. There is an auto commit command which executes automatically with the database, and this auto commit command save the data, save the records by itself, whatever in other words you can say that the work done by user. And this concept is known as system view. This concept is known as system view. System view means where all the work done by user is saved by database itself. But whenever we are executing TCL command, that is transaction control language, it means we are taking the control from database. Now saving the records, discarding the records, everything depends upon the user. Okay, so make it clear this concept. Whenever we are using TCL, it means we are taking the control from user. That is why it is known as user view. That is why it is known as user view. Now we are having different commands for TCL. First one is begin, 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 or you can say that start transaction. Basically it is used to start the transaction, and whenever begin is given, it means now the control is with the user. Okay, you had taken or user had taken the control from the system. Second one is commit. Commit means to save all the records. Rollback, it is also known as undo command. Basically it is used to discard all the changes. Then save point, it is just like a variable, and basically it is used to save the changes or save the updations done by user, okay, for a specified or a limited period of time, and afterwards we need to roll back those changes. Rollback to command is there, rollback to command is there. So rollback to command, basically it is used to save the changes up to save point, means whatever updations we might have stored with the save point, those can be saved, and the changes after save point, they are discarded. Okay, so say rollback to command is there. So we are having begin or start transaction, commit, rollback, save point, rollback to, and set transaction. Set transaction, we can specify how the transaction can occur automatically or how the transactions can occur in a particular or in the sequence or in a proper way. So these are the commands of TCL. Okay, so we are having these command categories. Once again, if I revise, first of all is DDL. DDL means data definition language, and for that we are having create, alter, drop, truncate, rename, and desk. Okay, then we are having DML command category, and in the DML command category we say we are having select, update, insert, delete, merge, log table. Then we are having DCL, that is grant in order to give the permission, revoke in order to take back the permission or the privilege. Then we are having TCL, that is transaction control language. It is having begin or start transaction, then commit, then rollback, then save point, then rollback to, and afterwards set transaction. Basically these are the different command categories that we are having with the SQL, and we will work with these command categories. We will do the query of all these commands. Okay, so go through this video, listen it properly, and also note down the concepts, note down whatever concept I had explained to you. Okay, so this much for today, and we will proceed further with the next lecture. Okay, bye.